Now let's talk about money a little bit. What did you spend your first big music paycheck on?
A Suburban. This was in like 19. Well, no, I would say no. I take that back. Well, it depends on how big you want to say it. But my biggest one, I spent it on a Suburban. I had big ones, that was, cool or whatever for what we was doing on the underground mixtape shit that I spent on some box Chevys and apartments and little houses and shit back in those days. But my first big one, when we made Misty Styles album, my first big one, I bought a Chevrolet Suburban. And the reason why I bought that because 8 Ball from 8 Ball and MJG had a Chevrolet Suburban. And it was bad as a motherfucker. And I was like, man, I want a Suburban. I was like, I can ride around with all the homies, put a VCR in it. DVDs weren't even out back in those days. We're talking about 1984. Put a VCR, 2 VCR players in it, loud ass fucking kickbox, which I wish kickboxing still was around. I hate that people have to listen to my music through headphones these days. But yeah, it was a Chevy Suburban.
What's been your most profitable record out of all your records?
Stay Fly. Not one, well, Stay Fly was the single, but Most Known Unknowns. The good part about Most Known Unknowns was we won the Oscar like right after that. And then we had hits on that. We had Stay Fly, we had Pop in My Collar, we had Side to Side. Then you turn around and win an Oscar, and we was the most Googled person in the world, Googled thing in the world. Sony told us. So, yeah, that was the one, man. We clowned out that album. And then that album, when the Oscar made all the old shit that we own, all the old independent shit that we own to Selecto hits, start back selling even more. So, man, before I know it, boy, we was, oh my God, millions and millions and millions that year.
Worst financial decision ever?
Worst financials. I would have to think, man. I ain't really had a lot of those because I got a great financial advisor that I've been with since like 2002. But I tell you one thing, bringing that up, one thing that was fucked up is back in the day I had a beeper. And when I went to, I stopped paying a bill or something. We talking about like the early 90s. Stopped paying a bill on a beeper, a Sky Pager. When me and Juicy went to buy those 2 houses that I told you about that we had next door to each other, Juicy got a way lower down payment than I did because my credit was fucked up over a $125 bill from that Sky Pager. So this company called, my bankers told me, they was like, we can get your down payment down, but you got to go pay the Sky Pager bill that you owe. And I was like, is this company even still around? And they was like, yeah, they still around because doctors still use beepers at that time. We're talking about like 96 or whatever. So I had to go find this company and give them that $125, and they probably cut maybe like $8,000 off my down payment of a $127,000 house. And my dad, I was talking, my dad was like, you're making all this money and you don't pay your bills on time. Cause I was like, whatever, I pay the shit whenever. I was like, I got the money, I just pay the shit whenever I want to. We was getting high and partying. And he was like, no, you gotta pay your bills on time because he was like, credit. He was like, you save more money if you got credit. And I was like, fuck credit. I was like, I can pay cash for whatever the fuck I want. And he was like, no, you don't want credit. And I was like, I found it out the hard way with that shit. I was like, So I said that was one of the worst. Not paying a Sky Pager bill for $125 right before you finna buy a house for $125,000. Fucking crazy.